This is the start of the 1 million Gamerscore challenge, from 0 all the way up, one game at a time, and to kick things off we're going back to something you can't actually buy anymore. Forza Horizon 2 Fast and the Furious. It was a free standalone tie-in for Furious 7 released on the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Short campaign, big cars, full 1000 Gamerscore. The perfect way to start because it shows two things. Achievements don't just live in the latest consoles, and sometimes these smaller spin-offs quietly disappear from sale, even if people who claimed them back then can still play them today. Fast and the Furious is Horizon 2 with the fat trend shoved into a shiny movie tie-in wrapper, and somehow it actually works. You're still in southern France, blasting through vineyards and sleepy towns, but the whole festival angle is gone. Instead, you're suddenly working for Ludacris, and he doesn't just cameo, he's constantly on the radio setting your missions. It's equal parts bizarre and brilliant.
That ride's nice and all, but it ain't cool for this event. Choose another.
The campaign is straightforward. Each mission nets you a new car from the Fast and the Furious films. So 1 minute you're tearing down a mountain road in a Dodge Charger, the next you're unlocking the Supra, then the Lycan Hypersport. It's basically a greatest hits mixtape of the franchise's garage, all tied together with that classic Horizon driving model. What makes it fun though is they don't skip on the ridiculous showcase events. Horizon has always been about why not moments, racing against trains, jets, whatever, and Fast and the Furious slots right in there. There's nothing like bombing it across a field in a muscle car while a plane swoops overhead. It is nuts in every sense and it knows it. That's the charm. You're not worrying about realism, you're just grinning along like an idiot while you're trying to hit a checkpoint at 200 miles an hour. It's not a full Horizon, the map's smaller, the campaign's shorter, and once you've collected the cars and cleared the offence, there isn't much left. You're not building a festival or unlocking new regions, but for something that was completely free, it felt surprisingly complete. It was a bite-sized Horizon, and honestly, most movie tie-ins don't even try this hard. This one gave you a few hours of pure fun with a cast of cars that were already legendary. The one thing I like is how it captured that pick up and play feeling. You didn't have to invest 40 hours, just a couple of evenings or one sitting over the weekend and you've had your fill. In a way, that's what makes it perfect for this challenge. Not every game on the road to 1 million will be a huge commitment. Sometimes a short, ridiculous little spin-off is exactly the right start. The achievements in Fast and the Furious are set up perfectly for a short standalone. The very first one pops the second you roll into Nice at the end of the tutorial. Normally that wouldn't be worth mentioning, it's just a token you've started this game, but for me it mattered. That was achievement number 1 on the road to 1 million. Seeing the counter finally tick up from 0 to 100 gave it more weight than it probably deserves. From there, most of your gamer score comes from collecting the movie cars, and it's not always just a single race. Usually you get a short chain of missions, win one event, maybe a showcase or a follow-up challenge, and then finally deliver the car back to Tej's garage. That's when the achievements should pop, and for the most part it does, except when it doesn't. Because here's the thing, when I was playing, a few of those unlocks just didn't trigger on time. I'll drive into the garage, the cutscene will play, and then silence, no notification, which is mildly terrifying when you're recording a video about getting the 1000 gamer score, but then 10 minutes later they all come through in one big batch. Instead of a steady rhythm of dings, I got a jackpot payout, 4 or 5 at once. Honestly, it felt like the game was saving them up just to mess with me. Outside of the car achievements, you've got the skill based ones. Burnouts, drifts, catching air, smashing fences, the usual Horizons nonsense. Most of them unlock by accident when you're messing around. You drift round a corner a bit too much and you batter through a vineyard and suddenly the game's handing you a gamer score for it. It's almost impossible not to pop a few of these without trying. There are some smaller ones which you may want to take head off when you're playing the game. There are things like slipstreaming or side swiping that might not happen naturally into the campaign, but they're easy to grab in free roam or through the races. Just hop on the motorway or bump into a few opponents and they're done. They don't drag the pacing down, they're more like quick excuses to mess about a bit more before you wrap up. And then there's the one real hurdle, the 50k skill chain. Everything else is basically 3 points, but this is the one that makes you concentrate. You'll need to string across some drifts, jumps and near misses without dropping the combo, and the second you hit a tree or slam into a wall, it's over. It's not brutal, but it does test your patience. When you finally nail it and see that the achievement pop, it feels like you've beaten the boss fight of this game. Altogether, you're looking at maybe 3 hours for the full 1000 Gamerscore, 4 if you're cruising. No collectibles, no missables, nothing hidden in mission 3. Just a clean, straightforward list that gives you a satisfying loop of progress, a funny bug to keep you on edge, and one proper challenge to cap it off. Looking back, Fast and the Furious is a strange little time capsule. It first showed up as part Games of Gold, then with a tie-in to Furious 7, it went completely free. That meant loads of people grabbed it without even thinking twice. And now you can't buy it anymore. If you claimed it back then, it's still in your library. If you didn't, it is just gone. For me, it's even more personal. I was already a motorsport player back then. I liked it more, the more realistic sim-heavy side of Forza. But this was the first Horizon I ever touched. I wouldn't have gone near Horizon 2 on its own, but this little spin-off was free. It was short and it hooked me straight away. Without it, I might have not got into Horizon or give it a chance before it went on the Game Pass, and now it's a series I have played ever since. That's why I think this completion deserves a bit of respect. On the surface, it's just a throw-in, tie-in for a blockbuster film, but for me, it opened the door to a whole new side of Forza, and it's a reminder of how temporary games can be. Something millions of people download at a time can just vanish from sale completely, leaving behind only the ones who happen to grab it. So, to wrap this one up, Fast and the Furious isn't a big game, it's not Horizon 2, and it's definitely not motorsport. But as a bite-sized standalone, it nailed exactly what it was going for. You get a lineup of ridiculous movie cars, some over-the-top events, and a full Gamerscore haul in just a few hours. It's quick, it's simple, and it never outstays its welcome. I also wish we saw more of these smaller standalone projects today. We've just had RoboCop recently, and I think they are brilliant. Shorter slices of a franchise to give you a taste without demanding the full 20, 30, 40 hours up front. They can be a perfect way to pull someone into a series, just like this one did for me. And as a starting point for this 1 million Gamerscore journey, it's kind of perfect. It's short, it's a bit silly, and it's also a reminder of how these little games can stick with you years later. So I just want to say thank you for watching, like, subscribe and all that jazz, and give me some suggestions of games down below. Till the next one, have a good one.